A neighbor from across the street brought me his printer. He thought that maybe I could see if it was something that I could use. He asked me if I remembered him talking about it. That it has some strips on the side. The printouts weren't coming out as he wanted. It had some residue on the side. And I don't remember that. What I do remember is that a while back he had a printer that he couldn't get working, and he decided to take it apart because there were a couple of screws in it that he could use for another project. So he took it all apart, took the two screws out, and then disposed of it somehow. Well, he brought this printer over yesterday. So HP LaserJet 3200 SE, and this test print was dated 2018, and it's a perfect copy. Perfect copy. Total pages printed 628, pages scanned 457, pages scanned to copy 434. So it's been well used. I couldn't get it working. I did find a rubber band inside, a disintegrated thick red rubber band. I took that out, I blew it out with air duster. I tried to clean it out the best I could. The test prints that I was getting sure didn't look anything like this. But I know that this is printed from the computer, and I was just trying to run a self-test from the printer itself. So I had to take it over to see if I could recycle it or dispose of it. Now, at one time, Goodwill took used printers. They took used, unwanted, old items with the thought that it would be giving their employees with special needs a chance to learn a trade in refurbishing and repairing items. And that was a great idea, but now they told me they're not taking any printers anymore. I've donated printers to Goodwill. I gave them a dot matrix Epson printer one time with a full box of paper and a lifetime supply of ribbon cartridges. But that's not the case anymore. But it just really blew my mind. The reason they gave me for not taking the printer. First guy came out to the car, said it's got to be in a box. So I found a box right away in the yard. He said, no, not that kind of a box. It's got to be the box it came in. And I said, you're kidding me. This printer's about 15 years old. Who would have the original box after all that time? And he said, well, that's our policy. I said, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I was going to leave. He said, well, you want to talk to the manager? I said, sure. So finally the manager comes out, and she's telling me it's got to be in a box, it's got to be in the original box, it's got to be sealed, and it's got to be brand new. And I said, you've got to be kidding, right? You're telling me you want a brand new printer. And then I just get this runaround, she goes into this mantra, because of COVID, since COVID. So I give up on that, but how ridiculous is that? They'll only take a brand new printer at Goodwill. I should have said, well, how much are you going to pay me for it if I give you a brand new printer? So I wound up taking it over to a recycle center here in the city. You've got to prove that you're a resident of the city. And they'll take it out of your trunk, so it's gone. I don't have to worry about that anymore. And I realize now that the neighbor probably just wanted to unload it on me and save himself the hassle of going over to the recycle center. Now, he's right across the street. Maybe if he's got a super listening device, he can hear exactly what I'm saying. Alright, so that's the end of this little story about what Goodwill has evolved to.